Nina Turner has raised a lot of money and has picked up some huge endorsements in her primary race for Ohio's 11th congressional district. This, of course, is a race to fill Marcia Fudge's empty seat, who went on to join the Joe Biden administration. Now, the primary election for this race is on August 3rd, and the general election is November 7th. So, of course, Nina has to win the primary first to go on to win the general. And some big money raised here, some key endorsements. I think some of these endorsements may actually surprise you, so I'll get to that in a bit. But first, let's look at the money. So right here from the 19th, Ohio's Nina Turner raised $1.55 million for a U.S. House race in first quarter. Now, this number by itself, it's hard to really, contextualize that unless you have actual context. So we do here, as the next closest competitor, Democrat Shontel Brown, has raised $640,000. Nina has raised more than double her next closest competitor in the first quarter. And actually, if you look at money raised overall, which includes from before the first quarter back in December, it's even better for Nina. So Dave Weigel here tweeting out, Nina Turner has raised more than $2 million for her congressional bid in Ohio's 11th, 3 times her closest rival. So Nina Turner right now, as I said when she first announced for this race, she's the front runner. And it's not even close. Now, this, of course, don't get too comfortable. This is when the establishment, the corporate establishment, begin to get antsy and do whatever they can to prevent a win like this. So understand that while Nina is is the front runner, you can't get too comfortable. So this support has to be kept up. The donations, volunteering, all of it has to keep going. And of course, the money raised here by Nina Turner, all grassroots funded, no corporate money, no billionaire money like her competitors. More here on where this money came from. So Turner's campaign said it had received 77,578 individual contributions last quarter. That is huge, from all 50 states. The average contribution was about $28 overall, and the average donation from Ohio was approximately $48. The top states from which the campaign received financial support were California, followed by Ohio. Turner said contributions data shows teachers, retail workers, and also healthcare workers are fueling her campaign. She said that if elected, her top priorities would be pushing to raise the minimum federal hourly wage to $15 and fighting for better healthcare coverage. Turner supports Medicare for All, championed by Sanders and other progressive leaders, a more aggressive stance than the one taken by Biden, who of course favors improving the ACA. Now, this of course is a big reason why Nina has so much support, because she actually supports specific policies that people in general support. You look at any poll, the vast majority of voters want to see wages raised, minimum wage raised to $15. Vast majority of people support Medicare for All, including independent and Republican voters. So you look at any poll in this, it is clear. The reality is, though, most people in Congress, most politicians don't actually represent the working class. They represent who got them their seat. Large corporations, billionaires. So when you have people like Nina Turner, like a Bernie Sanders, like AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Cory Bush, Jamal Bowman, I can go on. These progressives who actually run on just grassroots funded money, these are the people you can actually trust to fight for you. Now, of course, their power is still limited because they are a minority in Congress, but this is why it's important to continue electing people like Nina Turner to continue to grow those numbers and increase their power in Congress. Now, let me get to some big endorsements here. So you're going to begin to notice a bit of a pattern with many of these endorsements. So here from HuffPost, this is the most recent one. Janitors Union endorses Nina Turner for Congress in Ohio. So as they say here, organized labor is picking sides. Let's go to the next one. Actually, before I go to the next one, more here from HuffPost. Turner's history as an ally of organized labor goes back to her days as a state senator from 2008-2014, when then Ohio Governor John Kasich tried to gut public sector unions' collective bargaining rights in 2011. Turner traveled the state campaigning in favor of a referendum that overturned Kasich's bill. Quote, "The House of Labor certainly has not forgotten that," Turner told HuffPost. "I'm on their side and they're on my side." So long before Nina Turner was even a known figure nationally, she was out there fighting for unions. And that fight, of course, continued into her support of the Bernie Sanders campaign in 2016 and then in 2020. And now she's bringing that fight to Congress with this race for Ohio's 11th district. Now, more big endorsements here. National Nurses United, saying here they're proud to endorse Nina Turner for Congress as a longtime supporter of union strong nurses. Nina Turner embodies our values and has fiercely advocated for Medicare for all and safe staffing. So, of course, here, National Nurses United, one of the biggest groups backing Medicare for all, of course, backing Nina Turner here because they understand her fight. Another big union, transit union here, saying we trust Nina Turner to fight for our families, support our union, bolster public transit, recover from this pandemic, and deliver for American workers in Congress because of her long-standing history of fighting for our values. Again, organized labor knows who their candidate is. I got another example of that. Union Organizing Amazon Workers endorses Nina Turner. So this is the retail, wholesale, and department store union that is backing Nina Turner here. When you see this amount of union support, and we're talking, not just union leaders, but the members of these unions backing Nina Turner, that shows you who the actual fighter for the working class is. It is clearly Nina Turner, based on these endorsements, based on her record, based on the policies she is fighting for. Nina Turner is the obvious choice here, and her support from these sorts of groups just keeps increasing. Now, there's also some, what I find, a bit surprising endorsements, but I think part of it is these people, individuals, beginning to understand that Nina is about to have some power here. So you have here the Cleveland mayor, Frank Jackson, endorsing Nina Turner for 11th district. So to be fair, I don't know much of anything about Frank Jackson. So maybe he's, a longtime fighter for progressive policies. I have no idea. But we're talking here somebody who has a lot of power in the establishment in Ohio as the mayor of Cleveland. Somebody here who is representing a city that part of Ohio's 11th district goes into. So part of the district is in Cleveland. So this endorsement, of course, holds weight in that sense as well. And somebody who I imagine recognizes that Nina Turner here has power. And this is what you also begin to recognize when progressives begin to gain power. There's this level of respect that begins to, be shown to individuals like this. You saw a bit of this when Bernie Sanders began to win a lot of states at the beginning of the 2020 primary when he won Nevada in big numbers. CNN all of a sudden began to have on Bernie supporters as regular guests on their panels, which they never had before. But they began to recognize, hey, this is a individual here in Bernie who may become president, has a lot of power. I guess we got to begin representing that side, and they begin to actually respect that power. Now, of course, that also means at the same time that there are those on the opposite side of that also recognize, hey, Nina here about to have a lot of power. Now we have to ramp up our fight against her, which is why, as I said at the beginning, you can't just, go to sleep on this race. You have to understand that they're going to continue trying to outfund her. They're going to continue trying to push her out of the front, the leadership position in this race. So don't give the fight up, but understand that there are people that have power, that are politicians that understand Nina right now gaining power, and power respects power. So this is what happens when progressives actually gain power. You begin to gain some respect of people that you may not otherwise think would have any support or respect for you. More here. This happened a while ago, but it's worth mentioning. Bernie Sanders backed Nina Turner, of course, backed her back in December. One of the first big names to back Nina Turner, of course, Nina, big aspect of Bernie's campaign, both in 2016 and 2020. This endorsement was, of course, a no-brainer. Another endorsement here, this one's more recent, from AOC. So you also have, let me see here. This is the endorsements page. So you also have Ro Khanna, Mark Pocan, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Andy Levin, Cori Bush here. So a lot of members of Congress already backing Nina. But I would say, for Ohio specifically, more importantly, Ohio elected officials backing Nina here, a long list of those individuals. Also have organizations. I mentioned some of them, but you also have Justice Dems, Move On, Our Revolution, Sunrise Movement, Matriarch. So a lot here. Faith leaders, big list here as well. and also other random endorsements like Marianne Williamson, Keith Ellison, and others there. So Nina right now, the clear front runner. Of course, to support her, go to her official page, sign up, send her a donation if you can, and volunteer if you can. But this is a race to watch. Nina is an incredible voice, one of the most important fighters in this movement for the working class. Do whatever you can to help get her elected.